Welcome to the Squad Show. I'm Sam Ekstrom of Locked On Sports Minnesota. It happened. It happened. Arif's worst nightmare came true. Let's go.
What's going on, Luke Inman at Luke_Spimman? I'm going to be in and out today, guys. Still trying to make room on this shelf for another preseason fantasy trophy.
I'm Luke Braun of Locked On Vikings. Don't laugh at it. Carson Wentz loves to watch other quarterbacks win the Super Bowl.
From his little cock chair. Hey, this is Arif Hasan with Wide Left. Carson has 6 letters in it. 666. Mark of the Beast. Vikings have signaled the end times.
Skol! It's the Viking Squad, sponsored by Game Time. Everything Minnesota Vikings, every week. Breaking down all the big hits and game-changing plays from the land of 10,000 lakes, the way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. It's time to gear up. The Viking Squad Show starts now.
What's up, and welcome to the Viking Squad Show on Locked On Sports Minnesota and streaming on Locked On Vikings on YouTube. Really glad you've joined us today. If you miss us live, get our audio on the Locked On Vikings podcast feed, where Luke Braun holds the fort down with his great daily Locked On Vikings program. We're so glad you've joined us, and we have so much to discuss, including Rypien cut, Brosmer locked in, and Carson Wentz acquired in a Sam Howell trade. Quarterback carousel is turning. Revolutions. Cut down day is.
I never thought I'd be against a revolution until now, Sam.
I can't. Arif Hasan is going to get tormented today. His favorite quarterback, Carson Wentz, is now the Vikings backup.
Okay, all right,
Fargo's finest.
Oh God, don't do that. Oh Jesus.
53-man debate and plenty more as the Vikings.
See, at least Trey Lance probably wouldn't have made the team.
Yeah. Ugh. Hey,
they got to deal with Wentz all year.
I know. Okay, so I know that we're a show that likes to appeal to like the Vikings audience. Broadly, we don't want to alienate anybody for no reason at all. But if you live in Fargo, you suck, actually, and I dislike all of you. So, and that goes and Carson's from Bismarck, so that goes for Bismarck too. There's only like 2 people there anyway, so I'm not really insulting anyone. Huge, the capital of North Dakota. There's only 2 people there. So yeah, I'm mad at all of you, and you all deserve misery. Anyway, Sam, that's okay, right? I could say that.
That's cool.
I mean,
right?
why not? Why not isolate and polarize?
The last time you're going to lash out today.
For the
people
first
from Fargo,
time.
no, this isn't about you.
We're always trying to appeal to the first-time viewers, first-time listeners. Welcome, glad you're here. Arif, why don't you give the origin story just briefly? Why is Carson Wentz your mortal enemy?
Okay, so if we want to for a brief moment, shelve the bit and explain how the bit came to be, kind of like I don't know if that's a fourth wall break or whatever. But okay, so the thing is, I am from Grand Forks, North Dakota, God City, and
home of the Fighting.
Does not view North
where
Dakota.
they made Field of Dreams, right?
Yeah, technically they're the Hawks.
Has no jurisdiction there.
And
I've heard what James says. I've heard stories.
Look, okay, so God has to abandon some people, and James is just one of them. Okay, I think he would agree, actually. Yeah. Yeah, technically the home of the Fighting Hawks. No one there calls them that. I will not explain what people call them because, I don't love the new nickname, and I'm legally obligated to not love the old nickname. I'll just go with that. But the University of North Dakota has a football team. It's not incredibly accomplished, maybe I would say. But they had been rivals with NDSU for a long time until NDSU got the cheating. Let's just go with that. And just had a little bit of success at the FCS level, the little junior varsity college level, and it got in their heads. And so I really disliked a lot of NDSU quarterbacks. That includes players like Brock Jensen, the most recent quarterback Cam Miller. Carson Wentz happens to be one of them. Trey Lance happens to be one of them. Technically, I mean, he's really more of a safety. But yeah, so that's been the thing. And the thing is, I've hated NDSU before they started regularly making the FCS playoffs. And so people got real confused when they started making the playoffs. And everyone's like, wow, what a great underdog team. They're beating FBS teams. And I was like, I hate them. I want them to burn, right? And people are like, what are you talking? Aren't you from North Dakota? And I was like,
Doesn't
exactly.
like NDSU. Yeah.
Yeah. So being just a random NDSU hater on Twitter got me a lot of, and then I have to keep that up. And then Carson Wentz on virtually no meaningful snaps ends up getting like all of this play as a potential
Two-time Super Bowl
quarterback.
champ.
Technically, he was on those rosters. That is accurate. As Luke Braun says, he loves to watch other quarterbacks win the Super Bowl. Yeah, and which actually also he loves to watch other quarterbacks like win games because at NDSU he was egregiously hurt multiple times, including throughout their playoff run. Like that just happens to him. Just as soon as the games matter, he's out. His tendons are like, I don't know if we're up for this. And his tendons are right, actually. He's not. He's not up for this. He's not up for any smoke. And we know this because he has been a bad locker room guy at multiple organizations. Both the Colts and the Eagles have had multiple reports come out, including from players, not just like GMs trying to engineer some kind of, exit or whatever. Players from both the Colts and the Eagles were like, this guy's a bad locker room guy. Anyway, the Vikings have invited the Beast in.
Well, I can sit with a straight. This is why I love this. I can sit with a straight face and tell Arif, I actually think this is a great backup move. I actually think this is a perfect backup because you don't
look. I don't care that Brett Rypien is a bad quarterback. He's a better backup.
The 100%. You needed to upgrade. Rypien's preseason was disgusting. Howell's preseason was gross, which is like one level short of disgusting. But it's not quite catastrophic. It's not the Luke Braun word. It's not catastrophic.
No.
Honestly,
we'll get to that when we talk about Leroy Watson trade rumors.
This move is cataclysmic, right? Okay, so like we had a disgusting, we had a gross. Those are pretty bad. But this move is cataclysmic. That's worse, Sam. I don't know if you're up on your Bible.
That's a big word to use. I am a big
better get there because signs are there everywhere.
If you on the whole, he's low turnover quarterback, low sack rate quarterback.
No, low interception quarterback. He's a very high fumble quarterback.
He's a fumbler. He's a low interception quarterback. He's a low sack quarterback. If you take out the Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz feud year, and he's like a pretty nicely above 500 for his career.
If you take out the year he was bad, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He was also bad his rookie year, by the way. Like his rookie year was not good.
Okay, you're right.
He only has 2017, and he didn't even finish that season.
2017, 2018, 2019, 2021. Big sample size seasons. Very much the same quarterback all those years. I'm throwing out 2020. I think this is a good move. He learned, and imagine how much better he's now going to become. And you use this argument on me with Darnold. Imagine how much better he'll become after being with McVay, being with Andy Reid.
Right, but like with Darnold, the previous 2 years, he had actually put together some good results. Can you say that about Carson Wentz?
Yes! So much better than Darnold. So much better than Darnold.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay. You know his bit, his audience of one bit, that's him watching someone else win a Super Bowl. Audience of one, Carson Wentz.
Wait a minute.
You're telling me with a straight face that Darnold had better priors than Carson Wentz.
Yeah, the last 3 years of Carson Wentz's play, he had some of the worst adjusted net yards per attempt, some of the worst Pro Football Focus grades, unlike Sam Darnold, who actually produced when he was playing prior to being acquired by the Vikings.
Third in the MVP voting. Come on now.
Carson Wentz.
In 2017!
I was waiting for that.
All
right.
Let me jump in and say the as a backup, we probably have to talk about the fact that nobody likes this guy.
Yeah.
Everybody on all three of the teams he started for went to reporters and was like anonymously, but you can quote me, just don't name me. This dude sucks. Like that kept happening, and that probably matters. So I'm surprised that the way that Kevin O'Connell's emphasis on the locker room and the culture and all that, with that emphasis, I wonder if like, I wonder how much vetting they had to do to make sure that Carson Wentz still isn't incredibly egotistical and nobody likes playing with him, and very crucially wouldn't take coaching, wouldn't, like, when Doug Peterson was like, hey, you can't keep playing hero ball, you're making a bunch of turnovers happen, you're taking terrible plays and it's ruining the game, and Carson Wentz was like, no. Is that still happening? Because then that doesn't look like so good. But that was also a long time ago, and it's been 2 years that he hasn't really been a starter at all. Maybe that's humbling, but I wonder what kind of vetting went in there. I think that's pretty important considering he is the only veteran voice in the room now.
I mean,
he will be looked to as a source of wisdom.
Yeah, 15 days before the regular season starts, right? 15 days, and the dude's still out there. And it's not like a Ryan Tannehill situation where he's just saying, nah, I'm only going to go to a great situation for me, and I'm going to sit back on my couch and wait for somebody to get hurt. 15 days before the season, dude's still out there. This is more of a testament, I think, that Sam Howell, they just had to find somebody else besides Sam Howell. They didn't want someone at that backup spot. They felt like they got to hold their hand day in and day out, and that's probably only going to amplify, right, when you get to the regular season, even more so. That guy is supposed to be, your backup quarterback, maybe not physically checking all the prototypical superstar quarterback checklists like the Josh Allen size and the Mahomes arm, all that, but mentally, from a game prep standpoint, that's a guy that you don't feel like you have to shadow day in and day out, and you can trust to be prepared with the weekly game plan and all that. And I just feel like everything that we saw and heard, especially going through some of these transcripts, the thing that stuck out in some of these transcripts and listening back to some of the, KOC, Wes Phillips, even McCown up there at the podium, all summer they said whoever the backup is, that guy has to be able to go out and command the game plan without any practice reps. It's not something that's necessarily always means the guy with most experience. Maybe sometimes it's more mental than anything else, just being able to grasp that game plan. But they clearly never said one great thing as far as that goes when it came to Sam Howell. They never mentioned any good stuff as far as the mental capabilities with Sam Howell going through not just training camp, but even the preseason and stuff like that. So I don't think there's a ton of great options. I would love to actually go pull up right now and see who else is still sitting out there that could have maybe made sense for another backup quarterback. But
Pro Bowler Snoop Huntley is right there.
Snoop-a-loop. Okay, that's a guy. Yeah, that's a guy.
We got the Ryan Kelly.
I see you're unconvinced by that.
No, it's
Ryan Kelly,
fine.
Carson Wentz chemistry.
There is some chemistry there back in Indy. Yep.
Yeah, one of the only people in Indy. Like, Jim Irsay immediately was like, yeah, but couldn't wait to get rid of that guy. We all hated him.
Don't people have the capacity to change, Luke Braun? Do you not believe in
Ben DiNucci is
evolution of the soul?
Absolutely, Sam. That's why I'm asking. I'm saying that I wonder what they found when they checked in on that, or if Kevin O'Connell is just saying, "Well, Sam Howell sucked in camp. I guess we're putting up with this guy."
Have you seen Ben DiNucci's Instagram
McCown
posts?
backed him up.
That guy is so
right,
funny.
In 2019. So
the airport beer.
Karmically, Ben DiNucci needs to become a Viking to rebalance the bits.
That's so funny. It's true, actually. But it's like someone was like, "Dude, you threw like a post into triple coverage," and he said, "For the people." Like, that's amazing. That's incredible.
Under his picture of the airport beer because he was getting cut for the 7th time.
Yeah, it's like it hits different when you get cut for the 7th time. You wouldn't understand. That's incredible. Like, he's like the anti Kyle Sloter in that regard. He's like, yeah, I guess I got cut. That makes sense. That's amazing. I like that. All right. Okay. So we did have a question about, like, why would you have a veteran backup quarterback? Like, is that overrated? And I do want to answer that as, like, seriously, dropping the bit for a second. Like, the whole reason that you would have a veteran versus, like, a rookie or whatever. And there was a really good piece, I think it was by Alec Lewis at The Athletic a couple years ago following who's the guy? Sean Mannion, for a while. And I think also at some point, he also talked about, like, a third stringer. Maybe it was Chad Graff about Taylor Heineke. I don't remember. There's a really great story at The Athletic about backup quarterbacks that I encourage people to read, about what the day looks like for a backup quarterback. Also, if you can hear a dog barking, I'm sorry about that.
Are you?
A little bit. I don't want the dog to be barking. That's, like, he seems upset. But it's not my dog, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But
he's just trying to podcast.
Yeah, I get it. Yapping. But you're talking about like, hey, you've got McCown in the building. You already have a quarterback coach. Why do you need another quarterback coach? But the schedules for a quarterback coach and another backup quarterback are vastly different. The interactions that you'll have on the sideline are significantly different. The whole point is not that you like trust a veteran backup to go into the game, which you probably do more than the developmental guy, of course, but rather that you've got this whole operation where you've got somebody essentially shadowing your quarterback that has the ability to play, that absorbs the game plan like a player, and might be able to explain things to the player in a way that kind of fits what that whole preparation process has been able to be with the player the whole time. Like there's a whole separate process for backup quarterback in their day-to-day schedule than exists for a quarterback's coach, and they have distinct jobs in terms of the way that they interact with the game plan, the way that they break down film, and so there's like different elements that they bring. So there is a reason to have a backup quarterback.
There is, I think, an interesting juxtaposition with Carson Wentz and the way his career played out, because he had a lot in common with the way he came into the league with the way JJ McCarthy came into the league as this like golden boy. In high school and in college, Carson Wentz was very anointed. And even though he was hurt for the first 3 years of college and he couldn't play, it was still like, but he's going to be this guy. He's just wait till he gets healthy. He's going to be this guy. And I think McCarthy got a similar treatment where he was always going to be the guy. You know, when he's in high school, colleges are sniffing around. When he's in middle school, his high school is, anticipating and getting ready for him. And of course, when he's in college, his NFL, starry-eyed NFL scouts everywhere, like well before he had even played that much. I mean, in his second year before he even played that much. So this like golden boy thing got to Carson Wentz's head, and he that was the way that Eagles players described it. Like everybody kissed up to him all the time, and it made him really egotistical, and he didn't take to coaching, and he couldn't improve, and he couldn't fix the flaws that ultimately led to him getting benched for Jalen Hurts. What a great cautionary tale to sit next to JJ McCarthy all the time. Hey,
that's it. That's logic.
Everybody thought you were the guy forever, and look what happens if you get a big head about it. You get replaced by Prince Harry.
I think that's a really, really fair point. And we'll continue the quarterback discussion and how it fits into the 53-man roster construction when we return on the Squad Show. Stay with us. We are brought to you today by Rougiette. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis, maybe tried them. If you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, time to meet Rougiette Ready. It's next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain, boost blood flow, and unlike the usual pills that take hours, Rougiette's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue, kicks in fast in like 15 minutes. Effects can last up to 36 hours, so you can stay confident and in control when the moment is right. Try it out like 150,000 other men have and make the switch. It's totally discreet, totally online. You get connected with a board-certified doctor, and the treatment will ship directly to your door. Check out customer reviews as well on their site for increased confidence. Rougiette.com/LockedOnNFL is the website. Head there now. Rougiette.com/LockedOnNFL to get 15% off today. RUGIET.com/LockedOnNFL. Use promo code LockedOnNFL for 15% off. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rougiette website for full safety information.
So should the Vikings also sign Ryan Leaf so that JJ McCarthy doesn't, start yelling at teammates? I'm actually kind of confused about that.
Bring in all the cautionary tales.
Yeah,
Just
commit.
Manziel as well.
Does
Bring in
JJ McCarthy have a
Manziel.
drug problem? Because maybe.
I mean, look, Ryan Leaf developed the drug problem later, but he was an a-hole
True.
before that.
True.
Yeah, so
True.
do we want to bring in Todd Marinovich and be like, hey,
Yeah.
it really sucks being an anointed one very early in life, trying to be a quarterback since the 5th grade? How's that for a cautionary tale? I don't understand your point, Luke. Anyway, what's next on the docket, Sam?
Real quick, I got a quick funny story flashback. 2016, me and Arif go to the Senior Bowl, and we go to Veets after practice, kind of like the hot spot hangout. And after the first hour or two, we kind of branch off from one another, I think, and about around maybe 11-ish, kind of closing time, everybody's about to get out of there. I hear this kind of high-pitched shouting over by the pool table, by the dartboards, and I look over. And it's Arif and another. I wish I could remember who it is. Maybe Arif, you do, but it's another dude. And they're in like this circle of people, like a rap battle almost, right?
No.
And all I hear is Arif, going at
Just
it with this guy about how Carson Wentz is not gonna be a good quarterback. That was 2016. Carson Wentz was down there that year.
That guy was sauced. That guy was so deep in it. He was like 3 sheets to the wind.
He forgot to pay his tab.
He was going at it, and my friend Mark Schofield is like, "Hey, man, we got to get you out of here before you get beat up." And I was like, "No, I'm going. I am completely sober, and I'm arguing with this completely drunk guy."
It was fantastic. Again, a circle, like a rap battle, like a circle of people around these two dudes, and instead of rapping, they're actually having an argument.
Arif is Carson bars. Doesn't need any liquid courage.
And this dude was like, "All right, let's take it outside." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then he goes outside, and I just like, I'm just staying here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
And he just wandered off.
Do we know who it was?
And who knows where?
No, it was a random guy. It wasn't a journalist. It wasn't a reporter. It wasn't an
Okay.
analyst. It was just a guy who was there for the Senior Bowl as like a fan. Yeah. I don't know like how many fans of Carson Wentz are in Alabama. I suspect a little bit more now than before. But it was so strange and weird. I will also say this. I am pretty confident that the Vikings were in on Carson Wentz as a potential backup option a while ago, because my understanding is, and this is like a shadow of a rumor, but I do have it on some decent information that he was spotted in the Minneapolis airport back in June. Now, here's the thing. He might live in North Dakota, right? And, to get to Grand Forks... Yeah, to get to Grand Forks or Fargo...
Flight tracking Carson Wentz, this sucks.
One has to fly through Minneapolis, right? There's just not a lot of direct flights out of there. But he was spotted in baggage claim, which means he wasn't a transfer flight. So...
oh my God.
Some people were asking, hey, are the Vikings going to sign Carson Wentz, right? Some people were asking me specifically, and I said, no. I was clearly wrong. But my guess is what happened is that the Vikings had a conversation with him, and he said, I don't want to do training camp. And they said, okay, well, if we don't have this resolved by then we'll give you a call. So that's my guess as to what happened.
I truly believe that Sam Howell did not deserve to be the backup of this team. The Vikings swap 6th and 5th. They move up in the draft and get an additional 7th. So a good crazy deal.
Did they gain from the 2 series? I didn't do the math, but
yes.
I think they did.
That's
crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, net positive
it was
for
a
sure.
5th for a 5th swap in the draft,
right.
And then trading him away,
Nothing.
they got a 6th for a 5th and a 7th in 2027.
Yeah.
And they traded away a 7th, right? So but they still gained.
No,
they
gained a 7th.
Oh, they also
traded a
okay.
6th,
yeah,
got a 5th this year and a 7th next year. So they netted on the Howell, and even though Howell, did what he did, they still got good value. Rypien getting waived, no surprise. Brosmer. Now, I was texting you guys. I loved the national CBS crew. I thought they were super well prepared on Friday. And the way they were taught, and these guys, they had the meeting with KOC the day before. Like, they got all the intel and they got the talking points. It was pretty clear to me that they heard how much they loved Brosmer, how Brosmer was like arguably preferred to Sam Howell, because Charles Davis is not going to go start saying, hey, this might be your QB2, unless he's legitimately their second favorite quarterback on the roster. Like, why would he go with that unless he had gotten it on good authority?
He doesn't know that. Yeah. He got in on what? Tuesday, Wednesday, started doing the interviews. Like Charles Davis, he's covering all 32 teams. You're totally right, Sam. He definitely had some intel from KOC or McCown or Wes Phillips, whoever it was.
Yeah. And I think Brosmer deserves being on this 53. Now, the 53-man cuts have begun to trickle in. Make sure let me know if we get any during the show, because I'm itching, and so is Macho Meach, to play one of these. Let me know if we've got 20 more cuts, or at least 25 more cuts until we get down to 53. So a long ways.
One from a probable one from earlier this morning from Tom Pelissero. I don't think it's happened yet, but they will waive Leroy Watson if they can't find a trade partner for him.
Controversial.
What?
Patriots. Liudo. That's seventh.
Someone call the baby that's playing Jacksonville. Who would trade for that? Was a terrible preseason. Whoever trades for Leroy Watson, you now know they are not watching tape.
That's so good because they signed Leroy Watson for free. You could, like, if you wanted him, you could have just signed him, and then he reduces his value with his play. And the idea that they could trade him is, if they manage that, oh my gosh,
that's a Tom Pelissero report, by the way. I'm not just like that's not.
No, I know. Yeah, that's crazy,
insane.
Not the first time that it's been leaked, in order to try to drum up some value. But honestly, who's even trying to squeeze trade value out of Leroy Watson? Why? Like, why?
It's ridiculous until it works, Sam.
Because Tom Pelissero will tweet anything you say. You might as well throw it out there.
He's the Ron Burgundy of scoop artists.
Yeah.
He will read anything that is in his inbox from an agent.
And you'll tell him what really happened with J.J. McCarthy in November of 2024, and that's the deal.
53-man hot takes. First, let's read off the cuts from yesterday. None that were eye-opening. Reddy Stewart, Keenan Garber, Trey Stewart, who had one of the most disappointing preseasons of any skill player in a while. Mish Powell, Logan Brown, Zach Bailey, Silas Bolden, Rip, Robert Lewis, Travis Bell, and then terminated Rypien and Gill. So plenty more to go. I have one.
Nothing too shocking there.
I have a shocker. I have a shocker. I'm worried about my guy, Zemaiah Vaughn.
I thought you said Tim Jones.
Well, that's not my guy, but I'm worried about him. I'm actually less. I'm
worried he might make it.
That Tim Jones might make it. I think it's 50-50 Naylor's a pup guy at this point. If we've got no
with a jammed hand or whatever it was.
I mean, if it's going to take more than 4 weeks, I think Elijah Williams he's got a hamstring. If it takes more than a month for a hamstring to heal, which it very much could, that he could end up being a pup guy and not technically on the 53.
Pup's going to muddy the waters here. I'm worried about my guy Zemaiah Vaughn, and not just because he got his soul taken out of his body by Van Jefferson.
Oh, that was rough.
I thought he lost a little momentum, a little steam as camp went on, and also, what if our 87th guy on the 91-man ranking? What if Kylef Hailasi takes the Tavier Thomas spot, special teamer? I looked at the special teams reps. He did a ton of special teams, way more than Thomas, way more than Vaughn.
Was he good at them?
No.
Okay, then what are we concerned about?
I think Alec Lewis.
I think
Alec Lewis
harder
got
from scrimmage does
making it over.
Yeah, Alec went with that on his last 53. Yeah. But I wonder if there's a defensive back move that we haven't because it's been McLeathern and Vaughn for so long.
I think they
bring in
Stephon
safeties. Gilmore, dude. He's still out there, right?
Dude, when's the last time we had 4 position groups that was well, they'll get somebody on waivers to fix that.
Yeah.
That's rough.
They'll get a tight end and a receiver and a corner and then Wentz. My God.
This goes back to what you and I were talking about, Luke, on the postcast. This is a very top-heavy roster. I mean, the starters are set in stone, and they look great on paper. But once you start to get to the second and third team, these depth guys, these backups, it gets thin really quick. And I'm with you. Maybe corner feels very similar to wide receiver, where it's maybe the 4 or 5 or both aren't even on the roster at this point. Maybe a lot of action happens tomorrow when everybody cuts down to their final 53, but this feels like a year where I don't have a lot of confidence in 2 or 3 positions. What's going to happen? There's just so many guys back there, and I'm having a hard time, even after 3 preseason games in training camp, kind of deciphering number 4 versus number 5 versus who's making it the team, who's not. So yeah, Zemaiah Vaughn, I'm with you, Sam. Had a rough game. Not just the Van Jefferson rep there, giving up that long touchdown, but it feels like he's had a really good body of work, though, all summer. So how much, I guess, does the stock down at the last week of, right before cutdown days affect his whole body of work all summer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Stuff.
It's what that game is for. Like, it matters a lot.
No, so the question
You could lose
is
him, though.
like, the question is like how much you value that upside to put him on the roster, like kind of like Gabe Murphy, right? Where like he did not have a good, like his rookie year, it was not a good camp, it was not a good preseason, and he makes it. And I think a lot of us were like, well, he's got like the highest UDFA contract. They're kind of letting their pre-draft evaluation cloud things a little bit maybe, and it turned out to be a wonderful move because he had a lot of upside and he developed it. And I wonder if like that's going to be kind of the approach to somebody like Zamiah Vaughn, where they want him on the roster. The question, of course, is like, would you be able to put him on the practice squad and not have to worry about that? Will he?
Did anybody write an article about that?
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. So if you want a real ugly flowchart for just the worst, like it's like if someone puked up a really informative flowchart. You can head over to Wide Left on Football to see how likely it is that your favorite underdog will clear waivers. By the calculation there, Zamiah Vaughn has a pretty decent shot of clearing waivers, about like a 97-ish% chance. I think that there are probably other guys that I would cut before Vaughn just because I like the developmental upside, but I'm not remarkably concerned because I think that he's definitely a guy that they'd want to bring back on the practice squad.
He participated in one special teams rep in the preseason. Tavier Thomas, who was supposed to be the ace, participated in 6 special teams reps.
They already know they don't need him. They don't need him to practice. They already know he's great at special teams.
How about Tim Jones?
Tim Jones, a lot, like 26.
3 penalties and 26 reps, man.
Tim Jones has cornered the market on the sideline, like honey hole fade for Max Brosmer. Like if that's your move, if that's what you want to go to, that's the Tim Jones move. How many times in camp did we see like him layering it in to Tim Jones or in a game on that left sideline? Like that's the play right there. That's why
Tim Jones is a perfect example of like how reps on special teams does not mean you actually won any of those jobs, because he didn't win the gunner job. He didn't win any of those kickoff jobs. He didn't win anything on the jamming side of things. Like he lost all those other jobs to somebody else. And when you put together like who has a special teams job, then you can try to figure out like who's on the team about it. And maybe that's Miles Price as a returner. That's kind of the only thing I can think of. But as I was doing my like final 53, I was at like 51 guys, and I was going, I don't know, Miles Price, like it's bleak. And anybody who wanted to grab a spot could have, and a lot of people played bad in that Tennessee game.
I think Price has earned it as a returner, and absolutely, well, except for almost like stepping on the line on that kickoff return at the end of the Titans
almost
game.
Is not, right? Almost is not. You're fine.
Yeah, he didn't.
I don't see it in the box score, Sam. Yeah,
right, exactly.
It's good.
No pictures.
He bobbled one, which is also a concerning.
That
almost.
Is more of a concern.
I still don't think the punt returner's on the team right now.
What about the
that
punter?
makes the most sense to me. I feel like,
yeah.
Well, because like, what was it like? It was a great moment of the broadcast because I think did they bring in KOC, or Charles Davis was just saying it. They're looking for them to catch the punt cleanly as the punt was in the air, and then he bobbles the one where the broadcast was like, they're looking for someone to catch a punt cleanly. Like
which he did a lot in camp, by the way.
But and how dialed
it wasn't just the one.
How dialed was the broadcast to identify? Oh, Oscar Chapman is holding this one. He's in the mix as the holder.
Clearly,
that was
someone
awesome.
let them know that ruled.
Super slow-mo of the bobbled hold. That was a great preseason broadcast moment. Hall of Fame.
Truly felt like watching the ones in the preseason as compared to everyone else's like threes as their like local broadcast.
Yeah. Also, Taylor, again, I'm glad you're on the same train as I am. Adam Thielen, punt returner. We're both here. We're both for.
Got to get Carolina to say yes.
Barnwell forecasted what he thought would make sense, and it was like Carolina eats $1.5 million. Vikings give up a 6th and future 7th. So basically, exactly what they've gotten from Phillips and Howell.
I do want to circle back to.
Sounds like,
oh, go ahead, Reef.
It sounds like based on reading like all the reports around the potential trade here, that Carolina is more willing to play ball than I had originally imagined. Not that they want to give him up, but that they're waiting for the right price to come in, which tells me that they're willing to trade him. So I found that interesting because most of the reporting is just that the Vikings want him, not necessarily that Carolina was playing ball. And now it seems like, based off of all these reports, that Carolina is at least partially playing ball. So it could happen.
I do want to, real quick, just get it on record because it showed up in the chat. Macho Meach said if Hendon Hooker makes the roster, Sam and Inman are validated. Absolutely not. He is firmly QB3 behind Kyle Allen, was firmly QB3 behind off the street Teddy Bridgewater last year, is on the verge of being cut, and they are considering bringing in someone else for that QB3 job instead. He is as respected in Detroit as a quarterback as Miles Price is respected as a returner.
Yeah, he's in the wrong system there. Not his fault.
You got to put him in a fake Tennessee system where any idiot can get yards and trick you into thinking he's good.
Well, I want you guys both to know that I have been screenshotting Hendon Hooker's atrocious box scores and texting them to Sam all preseason. So we're dialed in, dude. We know where we're at. We'll take an L when we got to take an L.
Hype is, I believe, what the standard was. Not Billy makes the team his third year. You can't. You gotta outdo Andrew Booth by a little more.
Like, dude,
just imagine being behind a high school coach and then next year a worse version of that high school coach. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Let's do some on or off.
Look how long it took for Sam Darnold to really take off.
Late bloomer.
We'll see what happens in the UFL where Hendon Hooker is next to go.
Skipping the CFL.
We'll see if he can Jalen Redmond his way back in the league with a stint with the Arlington Renegades.
Honestly, the CFL might be better for him because it's like a really wide open league.
Final declarations on the 53-man roster, on or off after this break. We're brought to you by FanDuel today, and we're 1 day away. We're 1 day away from FanDuel Futures Day. That's tomorrow, August 26th. It's like a brand new holiday for football fans who live for the bold predictions and the preseason hunches, and it only lasts for 24 hours, where you can put together your division winners parlay. You can crown your Super Bowl champion. You can make your MVP prediction, and you get great value. FanDuel giving you lots of options for making those futures bets tomorrow, 1 day only. I think you got to throw your Vikings in the division parlay, and the value is just way too good. This is the FanDuel app today. Start planning your futures bets now. Futures Day is 1 day and 1 day only. It's FanDuel. Play your game. On or off the 53-man roster? Xavier Scott, Inman.
On. Bye-bye, Ty. Maybe you can get a seventh. Maybe you can get a future seventh for Ty.
Easily on, and it's already been rumored that they're trying to get a trade for Ty Chandler.
Yeah. On as well. Arif, unanimous. Xavier Scott.
You are muted.
He's muted. And
yeah, on. Yes.
4 for 4. I'm totally in agreement. Huber.
Off. I want to say on. I just I can't do it. I don't think so.
I don't know. Like I'd have to figure out kind of what the 9 looks like for me, but I'm gonna go with off.
Yeah, off for me. 1 good preseason game, 2 bad ones that doesn't make the team. Good practice squad though. You're the new Henry Bird. Congratulations.
Henry Bird had a great preseason last year. I just realized that looking it up. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's bad.
Yep.
It's so much is going to come down to waiver claims. I want to say on, but also I think you're right. I think this is a fairly simple practice squad sneak on. So I'm going to go off.
Yeah. Undrafted rookie that did not play well in every single game. I don't think you have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Or a Reef's flowchart.
So if let's say that Elijah Williams is not a pup, is he on the roster?
You'd have to figure out if you want to get rid of LDR or probably not Taki. Taki's probably fine now, right?
Yeah.
You would get rid of Taki?
You still have 7 in play here. You've got Allen, Hargrave,
the problem
Redmond.
is size.
Yeah, like there's not enough size on the roster.
Over 305.
Going back to the Alec Lewis, he just had this 53 projection 2 days ago. Obviously, he's pretty tapped in. I don't know if he was just going for a spicy take or not, but he's got Elijah and LDR making it. He's cutting Taki, and he talks about it's a gamble rolling with no run stopping nose tackle in there. Can they just have confidence in the system strategy with Flores and whatever that looks like? But body wise, like, yeah, that's to have
That's a
no
tough one
true
for me.
nose tackle in there. That's tough, but it becomes a numbers game because I love Elijah Williams too and what he's
Yeah,
looked like too.
do you love him more than Levi Drake Rodriguez? Which I think it's valid if you do. I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
But I think that's the decision I'd want to make.
I don't
let me
think
put it
that's
this
how
way.
camp and
Even if I
preseason has
did,
played out.
even if I liked him maybe a little bit more than LDR, I'm pretty confident the Vikings aren't there yet. I think the Vikings are more committed to LDR.
Levi Drake has started over
Tough for
both
me
of
to say.
these guys.
Yeah.
If it weren't for Pup, I could easily keep 70 linemen. And I know it looks weird, but like it's not hard to find a guy elsewhere to cut. Like in my 53, okay, by Tavier Thomas. I didn't really
it's
want
like
you
you
anyway.
got 4 corners, 3 safeties.
I got like 3 spikes in for
defensive
Willis point
linemen.
TBD. Like it's fine.
I mean,
So
realistically,
it was a pretty easy 7 for me. As I was about to do a big Elijah Williams video, and then I realized that it was probably going to be on Pup and it was going to be moot. But in watching that, you got to keep that guy on the team.
yeah, he
did
fun.
play rosterable football. He had that kind of preseason. You gotta.
My guess is if he's not Pup, right? That which seems the most likely. But my guess is he makes the initial 53, but not the week 1. Like my guess is at some point later on, he would get waived for like an addition at tight end or cornerback. Or
You think he'd be that 53rd
safety.
guy, that like first guy to get
Yeah.
moved kind of thing, 52, 53? Yeah.
Yeah, which I feel like
I
it's
think that's-
probably, I haven't checked this, but I think it's probably easier to sneak someone off of waivers right before the regular season than it is right after cut down day.
Yeah. Tight end 3. Are they on the roster?
That's the hardest question yet.
I'm going to
Tomorrow
say
they are,
no.
On
I'm
week
going to
1,
say no.
are they? No, I don't think so.
I think the tight end 3 that we're going to see in week 1 is not on the roster. But if I had to pick one, it would be my guy, Urasek.
I'm going to say yes, not because Urasek did particularly outstandingly or whatever. He was fine, I guess, but more because they just have bigger fish to fry on the waiver market. They have too much work to do.
That's true. Did he get a target in the preseason? Like a target?
He
at
did
all?
get a catch in the third game. Yes.
My guy,
Caught a
let's
little
go.
tight end
One-
screen.
One
and
catch, 5 yards.
5 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Great. Five more yards than Bartholomew. Let's go.
Hey, you do that.
We were all pretty down on Nesbitt. Are we still down on
Lot of
Nesbitt?
production.
After
Yeah,
the
but that was.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can't not be a
production was nice.
blocker.
ends on a high
Yeah.
note. You love to see that. Maybe they
Yeah,
keep him on the
but-
practice squad. Who knows?
Practice
Just
squad
especially
and-
because tight end is so thin. But he no way. One good game, solid game on game 3 of the preseason is enough to leapfrog even a guy like Urasek at this point.
Yeah, practice squad and bring a big thing of protein to the protein powder to this smoothie bar. I think that's the deal. You got to be a blocker to really be on the team, but I like keeping him in the org and seeing if you can bulk him up over a year.
Couple wild cards. Michael brought this up in the chat a little bit ago. Mekhi Blackman, is he in any danger whatsoever? I would say no.
No, who's
Based
not?
on his age, draft status, upside still. I think they got to hang
You
on to
just got to
that.
bring in Mike Hilton. You're fine.
Mike Hilton available.
Honestly, he did get cut. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's challenging him for real. If there was a nickel corner playing as well
that's the
as
issue, is they need a
Elijah
nickel.
Williams, I would be like,
Yeah.
yeah, they'd absolutely do it because I don't think his
Yeah.
preseason's been anything special. But like,
But
I
you
don't
don't
know
have any
who-
nickels. And
yeah,
and the two guys that we kind of been talking about as outside guys, Dwight McLaughlin and Jemai Vaughn, they're specifically, like, it's not just a size thing. Specifically, the things they've been bad at this preseason are exactly the things that you need your nickel to do. Like, it is a tremendous mismatch. And so I would
Blackman's
say,
been better than both of those guys. Those
Yes.
guys have both been worse this preseason than Blackman.
Yeah.
Like, don't get it twisted.
So I would say Blackman, but I think that what ends up happening if you've got a nickel injury, hopefully you don't, knock on wood. But if what ends up happening is you might just have a safety playing a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you might not have Blackman
Yeah.
actually doing it for a lot of the time.
Metellus a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
How about preseason targets, receptions, and yardage leader, Jayshon Jones? Inman.
I'm gonna say no, just because I think they're gonna make a move, if not two. I mean, you got JJ, we'll see Naylor, Pup, maybe not. Obviously, Addison suspension, Ty Felton, Lucky Jackson. I mean, I'm just pulling this Alec Lewis back up. He doesn't have Lucky Jackson making the team, which is kind of surprising. But maybe he thinks they're gonna go make multiple moves at wideout. But I'm
Would
going
not
to
be
say no on
surprised.
Jay Sean.
I'm also going to say no. I wouldn't be super shocked because, again, it's like, I don't know who else is making it. Maybe it's just him by default. But I think I would honestly set the odds shorter for multiple wide receiver moves.
That makes sense. Lucky Jackson had like one bad preseason game, right? Like
I still think he makes the team. Yeah, I think he did enough.
Yeah, I think Lucky Jackson makes the team. Which makes it real difficult, I think, for Jay Sean Jones to make the team. So I'm going to say off.
Miles Price. I really like his return ability. Really like it. But also, when you've done like 7 really boneheaded things in a short preseason, can you be trusted to make good decisions as a punt returner all season long? Because that's kind of like an area where you cannot be an idiot back there.
Yeah, you need somebody you can trust.
You don't have to know like alignment, like shift details.
Yeah, as a kick returner, as a kick returner, I could see it. As a punt returner, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I do think Ty Felton is going to be the kick returner.
Okay, well, then I don't see Miles Price making it.
Yeah, I have him on mine, but I'm not happy about it.
Bring them both back.
Bring him home. Bring him home. I have him on my 53,
there, right? Just like on the street, so you could just
actually bring him home.
Where is he? Is he still in New England? No,
Washington. Washington was his latest team.
Well, Terry just signed, so they're going to boot.
Yeah,
it's over. Yeah, I have Miles Price on mine. I'm not happy about it. I am viewing it as like sort of a placeholder for maybe the second wide receiver move if they bring in a punt return oriented guy, because if they go out and trade for someone that's not necessarily a punt returner, they would maybe want to do a separate move for that.
And your top priority practice squad, I think it would be Huber for me. It would be Tyler Batty.
Well, Elijah for sure. If
Batty's also
injured, by the way, but he probably would get plucked.
So you pup Batty, you pup Elijah.
Yeah, it could be like an IR without a designation to return for Batty, and then he gets like waived or settlement, and then back to the practice squad. It could be weird stuff.
Clarify for me. Pup guys still have to go through. Like, don't they have to?
Yeah, but you're waived injured, right? So
yeah, it's like the one day on the roster thing, which is why for my 53, I will be looking at it on Wednesday, not Tuesday.
Yeah,
because all kinds of they might cut Andrew DePaula for a day and put him back, which they've done, and put him back on the roster the next day just to make room for the guy that's about to go on IR.
Yeah, and Sam, I feel like if I can remember correctly, when you waive injure a guy, someone can claim and you got to put him on the roster. I think the only time I've ever seen that do that is I think Belichick did that to a Bills guy, which is hilarious. But other than that, I don't think I've ever seen someone pick up a waived injured guy before.
Yeah,
so it's happened one time, and it was Belichick versus
was Flores
division rival.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think Flores was, but that's funny.
That rule is in place to make sure that teams aren't like overdoing injuries, right? If somebody just twists an ankle and you go IR because we want to keep you in our building, another team can then basically check on that and say, hey, that injury isn't that big a deal. We'll put him on our 53-man roster. And now you've lost the rights to him.
The Pete Show says Eagles waive Nick Muse? ?
Bring back the cat. Bring back the cat.
I don't think they were happy to lose him. I think they wanted him on the practice squad when they cut him last year.
He's probably better. He's probably better than Urasek. I don't know.
I'm pretty confident that he's better.
100%.
Yeah, I'd be very into it.
So yeah, bring him back.
Oh yeah, that's Pelissero 43 seconds ago. That is hot off the presses.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll announce our preseason fantasy winner. We'll pay off the tease from the start of the show, and we'll take your questions too. Leave them in the comments. We'll get into some roster construction stuff, whatever you want. Next, Squad Show. Brought to you today by Yahoo Fantasy. The drafts are flying fast. Everybody's getting their drafts together now. They're getting more information as the preseason's done, rosters coming together. You can really have an informed draft experience, and you can do so at Yahoo Fantasy. You can feel the buzz. Everybody's researching, drafting, building championship squads. I've been with Yahoo Fantasy for years, and you got to join whether it's your first time or your 28th year doing it, making your millionth league. There's a lot of fun ways to compete. Season kicks off September 4th. Now's the time to play. There are many different ways to play, including Guillotine League mode, where the lowest scoring team gets eliminated weekly until one team is left. Play instantly with friends. New Draft with Friends mode. If you prefer the classics, you can do that too in a public league, private league, whatever you want. NFL season, again, September 4th. Don't wait. Start your league now. YahooFantasy.com/LockedOnNFL is the website. YahooFantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. All right, we're done with the preseason fantasy league, and as Luke Inman forecasted in his cold open, he hoists the trophy. Congrats, Luke Inman.
Feels good. Had that 4-5. Had that 4-5. Had that turn there. Didn't like it. Didn't like it right away. Yeah, you pulling up the rosters. Went Gabe and Richter. I mean, you guys stole all three running backs, right? Went running back.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So again, we went into week 3 with.
Dude, I had a week. My God.
Holy moly, Arif!
Dang, dude.
Wow. What did we go?
Keys, yeah.
Yeah, I knew I was so close to grabbing Austin Keys the week prior too. That actually might have put me in contention.
Would that have made the difference if Sam took Keys instead of Mousy?
No, it wouldn't have. But I did the math.
Points?
3 things would have had to happen.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I would have had to go with Keys, for 8.5, and then Braun. You would have needed Nesbitt not to score a TD and Harris not to have a sack. I think I would have needed all 3 of those things to occur. I had a horrible, horrible showing from Trey Stewart this preseason. Absolutely did me in. And really, the defensive players too didn't do anything splashy. I didn't get a pick. I didn't get a sack. Nothing really happened. And I could have easily passed Luke Braun too, who had basically 3 goose eggs on his roster this week, and I still couldn't even. I lost
Harris.
I don't think I ever got a point from Silas Bolden.
Not a single solitary point.
No points and a bunch of bad punt returns.
I almost got no
listening
points
to
from...
like the college football industrial complex again when they tell me that a guy is a shifty punt returner.
Didn't he return like 2 punts? He's a kick returner. Yeah,
and everyone was like, "Oh, he's this great punt returner at Texas. He's going to make the team."
Why didn't he return punts at Tech? Okay, whatever. I almost got a goose egg from
Solak rule. Never again.
Never again.
You can't be the smallest person on this panel and be in the NFL. I'm sorry.
Oh God, that is. Oh my God, that's true. Oh wow.
Wow.
Oh, that's rough, my guy. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
It's not. It's not your fault, man. Pick up a mic like the rest of us.
Yeah, dude. Podcasting sucks, but do it.
Get in the rat race.
So, Sam, remind me, what do we do? Is it like winner gets a little advantage for our gambling season long? Is it loser has to do something?
Yeah.
Where are we at? What are we doing?
Yeah, so
we've shifted some rules a little bit around.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, now there are going to be some twists on this year's regular season contest that will be announced at a date later. But Luke Inman will get an advantage, and he will get to use that advantage and also apply a disadvantage to me, the loser.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Got it.
So, so last year it was you get to pick a week where you either get to have your losses or double your winnings as the advantage, and you get to pick a week separately, I think, where you get to double the losses or have the winnings as the disadvantage, right?
That sounds right.
That's what it was last year.
And it had to be before the trade deadline, right? Like that was
correct.
That sounds right.
Correct. You couldn't hold it for the last week. I'm exploring some ideas to evolve this year's contest.
We did run into some challenges last year with the way that the setup had worked. So it'd be nice to improve upon that.
Yeah, I've got some ideas. I'll unveil them soon. I did ask for fan questions, and I want to honor that. Yeah, game time all the time. Game time. You're on the squad show.
You too can get tickets to Get Drunk and maybe find Arif and debate him on Carson Wentz.
That was fun. I did almost get beat up, but that was fun. He was real, lost, so I probably could have won. But if he was sober, no chance would I win that fight.
We found this out, what karmic payback is Arif dealing with, suffer through the Wentz. We found this out a couple minutes before the show, 7-year-old Arif. Maybe you save that for the book?
Yeah, that's maybe after show.
That's the after show.
That might be for a different podcast.
It's good, though. It's good.
Arif does have sins. Yes, that's...
No, hold on. I'm in the right on that story.
No,
Okay?
he actually,
Yeah.
he actually did.
He was the vigilante.
Yeah.
Well, that really depends on what brand of ethics. If it's Kantian, I don't know.
Yeah.
He stepped up.
This is from earlier, from Michael. Thanks for the question, Michael. Let's say the Panthers don't want to deal Thielen. Who are your top choices for receiver help? Someone who can catch punts two, Powell, Akers.
3 former Vikings. We need to expand our horizons, people.
There is 100%. There's a
Think
waiting
beyond
game
the
for
bun.
next.
Please think outside the box.
The next 36 hours will dictate whether Thielen is a Viking, because if the waiver wire is bountiful, I think the Vikings would take emotion out of it, and they would probably go with that option. I don't think they're eager to spend draft capital on Thielen, but I think that it's on the table.
Hey, if they get to move either Ty Chandler or Leroy Watson for picks, that's free real estate. You can just grab Thielen from that.
Who was the guard a couple of years ago we got a pick for?
Jesse Davis.
Jesse Davis.
He was
Yeah,
right.
he
He
but it was
was
like
going
it
to
was
start,
like
and he
4
lost
years
the
out.
job
It was
to
like
Ed
4 years
Ingram
out.
and Chris Reed.
I think we're still waiting on that pick. I'm not even kidding. I think it was 2027.
I think you're right. Actually, it was like
Not kidding.
it was a conditional.
It was insane.
2027. Yeah. and
Yeah.
Actually, I don't
It was
think he
like-
hit the condition.
I
don't
was going
think
to
we
say
got
maybe he
that
didn't
pick.
hit the conditions, but
Fine.
fine.
Hilarious though.
Do we have names for Michael though for receiver help?
Seriously,
we
where's
talked about
Patterson? Is Patterson still in Pittsburgh? I mean, we
No,
talked about
they
Thielen,
cut him.
but-
They cut him. Patterson announced himself that the Steelers cut him, and he announced it as if he was a blogger. He's like, breaking, Steelers cut old and washed up Cordero Patterson.
No way.
It was incredible.
Oh, this is like a month ago. Okay.
Yeah, it ruled.
Bad dad joke. Most unique way the Bears can lose a game this year. I think getting screwed over by the virtual measurement would be pretty funny.
Oh, that's
think-
good. I like that.
Ben Johnson sideline tantrum leads to game-losing penalty like that one time Sean Payton did it.
Remember when Jim Schwartz threw a challenge flag when he didn't have to because it was a scoring play against the
Oh, that would
Texans?
hurt extra because it's already happened to the Lions.
Yeah. So I want that one.
Ben Johnson keeps trying to call trick plays for linemen, and they keep failing to report. And just like
they don't have
2 years
they don't have
ago?
a guy whose whole bit is reporting.
that new look offensive line just doesn't know how to report correctly. Trey Palmer, can he return punts?
I liked
don't
him
know.
coming out of Nebraska a little bit. How much returning he did at Nebraska? That I would have to look
I don't
up.
think he did any. I think Nebraska's been spoiled for returners. Right? Like they've had a lot.
Spielman's kid? Do it. JD?
He returned 27 punts in college. Not for a ton, but that's 27 punts. That's not like 0. That's not 2.
Give me your earliest Chicago Bears game preview. Like what are the? I think their secondary's already banged up, right? Terrell Smith's out. Jalen Johnson, week to week potentially.
Oh,
I
that's a
think
problem.
they expect him to play.
Okay.
You know what I just realized this morning,
No,
and I don't want to fast
100%.
forward past Chicago, but week 2, Atlanta, both their first round picks are out. James Pierce and the other edge guy from Georgia.
Really?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they grabbed
Yeah.
2.
Michael
Now they might be back week 2. One of them might be back week 2. At what capacity? Who knows? But right now, not on schedule to play week 1, either of them.
Tofu Tomo, is Tyreek Stevenson on the roster still? I thought he wasn't on the
Jalen
roster.
Walker. Thank you.
There we go.
Did he even last on the roster last year?
I don't think so, right? Because he
he
got
did.
real mad that he wasn't starting, and they were like, "Are you kidding me? What? Are we in the same
What do you
universe?
do here? Yeah.
You're
Good or
barely
bad?
on the team."
Good or bad to play a new Ben Johnson offense in week 1? Like, hard
Week
for
one,
him
good.
to do the trick stuff?
Week
or
one,
like
They
scary?
are not. They don't have the kinks ironed out yet. We'll get
No,
Yeah,
to
with
week
a
one, I
young
think is helpful.
year 2 quarterback who struggled last year and a new O-line.
Yeah.
They don't have that Detroit O-line either yet. You know?
Yeah,
I know they
think-
went and spent all the money in the world on those interior guys.
I think
but,
because it's week one, they're gonna bamboozle the crap out of Caleb. Like I think it's just gonna be like, hey, we don't know what your protection rules are, but here's the trick: you don't either. Let's go.
Yeah. Last time Ben Johnson coached a game, he went on the podium and was like, "Yeah, we're still too sloppy." Like they've still got lots of confusion and stuff. Which it's like, as mean as I've been to Bears and Bears fans, it's a new head coach, young quarterback. It's okay to struggle a little bit. Can we please stop crowning the Bears in like May that they're gonna just like take the world by storm?
Dude,
It's
three-time offseason.
Let it take time.
3-time offseason Lombardis. You're gonna doubt them? Come on.
Can those be like transitive, like the Viking Super Bowls?
The linear offseason Super Bowl trophy.
Can we just to take them away when they lose it week one every year?
Let's close with a lock futures FanDuel bet for FanDuel Futures Day. And I think if you had gotten the Vikings, man, at their futures price a couple months ago, remember they were the same or worse than the Bears for a period of time. And without anything radically changing, they are now half the Bears price. They've gone to plus 300, which is close to the Packers. The Bears are still at plus 550. That was always a ludicrous price. It was always absurd. And the market finally figured it out. So the Vikings value has changed considerably, but I still think 3-1 on the Vikings to win the division, or take the, minus 120 with the juice on the win total.
That's interesting because
Also
I would definitely think that 4-1 is crazy, and I would take the Vikings at 4-1. 3-1 is interesting. That might be kind of close to where my breaking point on that is.
Mm-hmm.
I might still take it just because I think that the Lions are gonna keep getting hurt. I don't know. That's kind of projecting a lot there, but I'm not that concerned about the Packers, so it's really just a question about the Lions, and I don't know that the Lions have like a 67% chance of winning or anything like that. So I guess I would take them at 3-1, but that one's a tough one for me. That's about close to where I'm gonna say, maybe not quite.
If you were taking a 3-1 bet, more likely to take that one to win the division, or Justin Jefferson 3-1, 1,500 plus yards receiving.
I'm
yards.
taking that.
I'd
3-1.
for sure.
I'm taking
3-1. Yeah,
Mhm.
give me that.
How about one at minus 110? This isn't a Vikings one, but Eagles, Chiefs, and Ravens to each make the playoffs.
Eagles,
-110.
Eagles,
and
Chiefs, Ravens,
And Ravens
Boy.
parlay it, make the
Wow.
playoffs minus 110.
Wow.
I would wait. Is that
Wow.
one bet on its own? Because I bet if you
To-
actually constructed the parlay yourself, it would actually give you better return.
Let's see. Plus 107. You are absolutely right.
So great. So good.
Don't get tricked.
Don't get
So
tricked. Do it.
fantastic.
Go to FanDuel. FanDuel Futures Day.
Futures Day.
Do the parlay yourself. I didn't know that you could do that. I learned something today.
Fantastic. Just got to do a little extra work, 2
Just
extra
do it
clicks.
a little bit more.
Just take that juice out of the equation.
Yeah.
So Thursday, breaking down the 53-man roster. Next week, season predictions week. Highly specific season predictions. We always enjoy doing that. Plus plenty more. Ron Johnson joins Thursday. Carol Evan Cruz here on Wednesday. We have a lot of fun here on the Squad Show. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, plus after games. Thanks so much for watching, listening, commenting, and subscribing. Check out Locked On Vikings with Luke Braun, Wide Left with Arif Hasan, and the postcasts and the Squad Shows with Luke Inman after games. Talk to you next time.